welding rods, and that's our kit. And it includes about 7 parts. And I will show the first part. It's about carbon steel welding rods and low alloy steel welding rods and the stainless steel welding rod, and last is the stainless welding rods. Okay, the first part is about basic introduction about carbon steel electrode. Carbon steel electrode, it is also the textile strength of disposed material, and it is less than or it is equal to 500 milligram, and also it is namely 50 kilogram millimeters second, and it is suitable for welding carbon steel, and it is low strength and low alloy steel. And also the two pictures, it is attached it, and you can see it. The next part, it is about the examples of using carbon steel electrode. Follow hydrogen type and iron powder type electrode. The electrode must be fixed at 350 degrees or higher before welding. And also, they should be baked as much as possible, and it is used as much as possible. And otherwise, welding defects such as porosity, slag inclusion, and cracks, duration or precise performance, electricity, and for cellulosic electrodes, they should be baked strictly under the baking temperature, and it is specified in the instructions. And also, if the temperature is too hot, the cellulose in the coating will be found of the inherent precise performance of the electrode, and it will be destroyed. Next, it is when using low hydrogen electrodes. The welder should stay upwind to strengthen the S-half, and it is to prevent the welding film from harming the body. And for the low hydrogen electrode, the baking time should not exceed twice as much as possible to prevent the coating from becoming brittle and falling off. And also, there are 3 pictures about carbon steel electrodes. And there are something about on it. And also, there are some pictures about carbon steel electrodes. You can see it, and you can learn something information about its shape and color. And the next part, it is about the introduction about low alloy steel electrode. And for those who require plastic, it is high impact toughness, and also it is good low temperature performance, and a strong crack resistance, and it is used alkali of high toughness electrolytes, and also for welding of medium carbon steel or cast steel. It is generally choose ultra low hydrogen, high toughness electrolytes or supplemented by precise mirrors and such as repeating. And the next part is about the classification of low alloy steel electrolytes. Low alloy steel electrolytes, it is divided into the following three categories. The first, it is about 1.50 kilograms class. It's had a distorted material MNRSI series structure steel electrode. And the second, palladium and vanadium purely heat-resistant steel electrolytes. And the last part, it is about the low temperature steel electrode. Okay, welcome my colleague Bruce to introduce the next information about alloy steel.
This is Bruce from China. The next part is instructions for use of low alloy steel electrodes. The use of low alloy structural steel electrodes is generally based on the strength, weight of the steel. At the same time, it also needs to be integrated according to the weldability of the steel. The transition of the base metal composition, the size, shape, groove, and force of the welding structure considered. In the unfavorable situation, that the welding seam has a higher cooling rate, which increases the strength, and the weld joint is prone to cracks. An electrode with a lower strength than the base metal can often be selected. In case of multi-layer welding of thick plates or normalizing after welding, it is necessary to prevent the phenomenon of low weld strength. Molybdenum and molybdenum palladium heat-resistant steel electrodes, commonly used alloy elements in the palladium heat-resistant steel are chromium, molybdenum, vanadium, nickel, etc. to meet different working requirements. Due to the joint effort of carbon and alloy elements in steel, it is easy to form hardened structure during welding, and the welding performance is poor. Therefore, palladium heat-resistant steel is generally preheated before welding and tempered after welding. When welding dissimilar steels, welding materials that are compatible with intermediate composition are generally selected. An appropriate preheating temperature and post-weld heat treatment conditions should be selected according to the materials. With poor weldability, when used long or for thick water-type welding, low hydrogen heat-resistant steel electrodes should be used. The use of low-temperature steel electrodes, according to the characteristics of low-temperature liquefied gas production process. Low-temperature steel is used according to different operating temperatures. Below 40, below 70, below 90, below 100, below 196, below 200, 53, and the corresponding welding materials are selected. This is the basic introduction about stainless steel. It refers to a type of electrode coated with stainless steel as a source material. It can be divided into chromium stainless steel electrodes and chromium nickel stainless steel electrodes, which are widely used in chemical, fertilizer, petroleum, medical machinery, manufacturing, and other industries. Through the transition of various alloy elements between the welding core and the coating, the welding metal becomes a certain amount of authentic and bridge structure to ensure that the welding metal has both good crack resistance and good resistance to corresponding medium. Through the welding core or coating, a certain amount of carbide forming elements such as EBM, molybdenum, titanium, etc. can be infiltrated into the welded metal to form stable carbides with carbon to prevent the formation of chromium carbides as the grain boundary. Through the welding core or coating, this is the performance requirements. The increase of carbon will promote regular corrosion in the welding of stainless steel or ferritic stainless steel. Therefore, the carbon contact in the welding core and coating materials should be strictly controlled. Low carbon or ultra low carbon is recommended. The welding core using low carbon or carbon-free iron alloy and metal elements as raw materials for the coating. Strictly control the contact of sulfur and phosphorus in the stainless welding coat and coating to reduce the risk of thermal cracks in the weld. This is the classification. The first, chrome stainless steel electrode. The weldment should be tempered at 700 degrees Celsius. It has several types such as G202, G207, G217, and other electrodes are CR13 series stainless steel electrodes. Only by adopting the above-mentioned technological measures can the welding and the heat-affected zone be prevented from the cracking due to the greater tendency of hardening. The second is CR17 series stainless steel electrodes. When using this series of stainless steel electrodes to weld ferritic stainless steel, the weldment should be repeated to 200 degrees Celsius before welding, and to carry out 800% tempering treatment of weldments. Only by adopting the above-mentioned technological measures can the weld heat-affected zone be embrittled at 475 degrees Celsius and cracks due to the greater tendency of hardening. The next is chromium nickel stainless steel electrode. Due to repeated heating during the welding process, the precipitate carbides will reduce the corrosion resistance and mechanical properties. Therefore, when choosing chromium nickel stainless steel electrodes, welding should be considered the working temperature and medium types of the parts. When selecting a stainless steel electrode, with the same or similar composition as the base material for welding. You should pay special attention to carbon content of the selected electrode, not to exceed the carbon content of the base material. Considering the performance of welding process in recent years, titanium calcium coated electrodes are the most popular and are widely used. Titanium calcium type coating electrode not only has good welding performance, but also can be welded in all positions. It is one of the commonly used coating types for stainless steel electrodes. Alkaline coated stainless steel electrodes are rarely used for welding authentic stainless steels. They are only used to soft hot cracks in the thick stainless steels or welding structures with high rigidity in order to improve the stability of the arc. Generally, alkali metals with lower mineralization potential and alkali metal oxides are used as arc stabilizers. For the welding of corrosion-resistant stainless steel, the electrode should be selected according to the working temperature of the corrosive medium. For welding structures that work in dilute sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid as the corrosive medium, stainless steel electrodes containing MO or MO and Cu are often used for welding. And when the structure works above 200 degrees Celsius and the medium is very corrosive, stainless steel electrodes containing Mb or titanium elements or the ultra-low carbon should be used for welding. When welding the steel, in order to ensure the various properties of the steel, the composition of the selected electrode should be similar to that of the base metal, and the corresponding preheating and post-heat treatment measures should be adopted. Chromium nickel stainless steel electrode welding can also be used, but after welding, no heat treatment. Here is a picture to illustrate the stellate welding rods. You can see the arch appearance of these welding rods. Next is aluminum welding rods. According to its composition system, there are two aluminum welding rods: aluminum silicon welding rod and aluminum manganese welding rod. Pure aluminum electrodes are mainly used for welding aluminum and aluminum alloys that do not require high joint performance. The welding seam of aluminum silicon electrode has good thermal crack resistance and is often used for welding aluminum plates. Silicon castings, general aluminum alloys, forged aluminum, hard aluminum, etc. But it is not suitable for welding aluminum manganese alloys. It has good corrosion resistance and can be used for welding aluminum manganese alloys, pure aluminum, and other aluminum alloys. These some instructions for use. You should pay attention to the preheating temperature. It should be appropriate, and the short arc welding should be used. The welding speed should be accelerated, and the horizontal swing should not be performed. Next is nickel and nickel alloy electrodes. It is mainly used for welding pure nickel and high nickel alloys, sometimes used for welding dissimilar metals. However, considering the alloy loss of the electrode in the arc, some other elements should be included in the electrode to improve the weld performance of the welding process performance. Ways are selecting this material if the welding rod with the same composition does not meet the design requirements, or there is no suitable welding rod with similar alloy composition. It is recommended to use a welding rod with a higher performance to ensure that the performance of the weld is not lower than that of the base metal. There are 6 precautions for use. The first is preparation for the base metal. The oil, paint, dust, or other dirt on the surface of the base metal should be carefully removed before welding. And the second is to prevent bore holes, short arc welding is used. And the third is to use a small welding current. Do not preheat before welding. And keep a low pass temperature, less than 150 degrees Celsius, to avoid overheating of the base metal. During the welding, the wind range of the electrode should be small and stay on both sides of the welding bit for a long time to facilitate the emergence of the welding slab. Pay attention to filling the arc crater when choosing the arc to avoid crater cracks. The sixth is the moisture of nickel and nickel alloys is authentic, which has a strong tendency of hot cracking. When welding field welds, the weld feed is required to be convex, which can better prevent the generation of hot cracks. The next is copper and copper alloy electrodes. The bronze electrodes are divided into silicon bronze electrodes, frosted bronze electrodes, and aluminum bronze electrodes. It can be used for welding various copper and copper alloys. Copper and steel is similar materials, but it is also commonly used for processing various hard parts that bear metallic wear and corrosion resistant parts, and can be used for welding and repairing cast iron parts. Here's the instructions for use. In order to obtain high quality welds and reduce the oxidization of alloy elements, copper and copper alloy electrodes should use weld-line low hydrogen coatings. This is a general instruction about this material. Thank you very much. I welcome my next colleague to present you another wonderful illustration.
Hello，给我一个字卡，你可以跳着讲。Hello everyone. This is Shelly from ET China. Welcome to our lecture today about cobalt alloy and nickel alloy. Firstly, cobalt alloy for candle. Part 1 is C9 and C9 Part 2 is cobalt 50 castings and forgings.
你只要讲15分钟就可以了，15分钟。
Part 1 C9 balls and six. What is the material for C9? C9 is a hard alloy that can withstand various types of wear and corrosion and high temperature oxidation, commonly known as cobalt chroming tungsten or cobalt-based alloy. C9 is based on cobalt as the main component, including some nickel, chromium, and tungsten. You can see this table is chemical composition for C9, such as C9 3, 4, 6, 12, 20, and 21. And the balance is cobalt. Next, the basic information for C9 balls and six. This photo is C9 balls. The C9 balls is cobalt alloy. The hardness is HRC 45 to HRC 55. The most used material is C920. This photo is C96. The material of the C96 is generally known as the material of the C9 balls. The most used material is C93 or A3. Next, some photos for C9 balls and six. Next, some painting photos for C9 balls and six. You can see we have two types for painting. One is candy, the other is wooden pots. Next, some videos for C9 balls and six. This video is for C9 balls. The material is C920 and the surface is G100. Next video is for process. Next, test report for C9 balls and six. You can see this test report is for chemical composition and physical properties. The material is C93 or A3, and the specification is diameter 1.75 mm. For chemical composition, the tungsten is about 18.1. The chromium is 33.79 and the cobalt is balanced. For physical properties, the hardness is about 59 HRC. Next, some different sizes of C9 balls and six. Next, export for C9 balls and six. We have export C9 balls and six in many countries, such as the USA, UK, Italy, Spain, Brazil, and Australia and other countries. Our customers have very good feedback on our C9 balls and six. If you have any inquiry for C9 balls and six, please follow our shop. Thank you. Next, other products from cobalt alloy. The first one is cobalt alloy welding rolls. The second one is cobalt alloy round bars. The last one is cobalt alloy rings. Next, part 2. UN cobalt 50 castings and forgings. The basic information for cobalt 50. Cobalt is a high temperature alloy material. High temperature alloy refers to a type of metal material based on iron, nickel, and cobalt that can work for a long time at a high temperature above 600 degrees and a thinner stress. It has high temperature stress, good oxidation and corrosion resistance. Next, some photos for cobalt 50 castings and forgings. Next, test report for cobalt 50. You can see this one is chemical composition test report. The material is cobalt 50. For composition, the chromium is about 27.7 and the cobalt is about 51.1. Next, this one is dimensional check report for cobalt 30 products. Next is nickel alloy. For catalog, the part 1 is monel alloy, the part 2 is inconel alloy, and the last one is alloy alloy. Part 1. Monel alloy. The basic information for monel alloy. Monel alloy series products have excellent basic properties of high strength, high corrosion resistance, and wear resistance. They have the advantage of long survival. Commonly used grades are monel 400 and monel K500. You can see the table. This table is composition from monel 400 and K500. You can see the nickel is about 63.70% for monel K500. For monel 400, the nickel is more than 6. It's about 62.02669%. So, the material performance of monel K500 is better than monel 400. Next, test report for monel alloy. You can see the part name is bolts and nuts. The material is monel K500. For composition, the nickel is about 64.72. Next, dimensional check report for products. Next, some photos from monel alloy. These balls nuts and washers is sent to Australia. Some photos from Monel alloy. These birds and washers, the material is Monel K500. Next, this products, the material is Monel 400. Next, part 2, nickel alloy. The first name, the basic information for nickel alloy. The biggest feature of the nickel series material is battle crossing resistance. Generally speaking, the higher the chromium content, the better the crossing resistance. You can see, for example, nickel 625. The nickel is about 58%. Nickel 680. The nickel is about 50 to 55%. Nickel X 750. The nickel is more than 70%. Next, test report for nickel alloy. This is chemical composition test report. The part name is black. The material is nickel 625. For composition, the nickel is about 56.6564. For properties, gel stress is about 388. For tensile stress is about 795. For elongation is about 64.1. For hardness is about 119 HB. Next, dimensional check report for plan. Next, some photos for nickel alloy. Next, part 3, test-loin alloy. The basic information for test-loin alloy. Test-loin is a nickel basic crossing resistance alloy and divided into two categories: nickel chromium alloy and nickel chromium molten alloy. Test-loin has good crossing resistance. For example, test-loin 22. The nickel is more than 56%. The chromium is 20 to 22.5%. The molten is about 5.5 to 14.5%. Test-loin 276. You can see the nickel is more than 57%. The chromium is 14.5 to 16.5%. The molten is 15 to 17%. Next, classification. Test-loin alloy alloy is the main divided into three series B, C, and G. It is mainly used in iron-based chromium nickel and chromium nickel molten stainless steel. You can see the B series. It has B, QB, or 3. For C series, it has C 276. For G series, you can see it has G23 or G230. The most widely used are the second generation materials. For example, C276 and Hexalloy 22 and Hexalloy 4 and G23. Next, some photos from Hexalloy alloy. Next, dental alloy. Chemical composition for dental alloy. The casting process of dental alloy parts is investment casting, also known as non-wax casting method. The basic process is to first make a wax model from wax or plastic. The surface of the wax model is coated with an embedding material to make the casting model, and then the molten alloy is cast into the casting cake inside, forming a casting. We have two types from dental alloy. You can see the first one is cobalt chromium dental alloy. The chromium is 27 to 30%, and the cobalt is balanced. The second one is nickel chromium dental alloy. The nickel is balanced. Next, demand description for dental alloy. The market for dental alloys is very broad. Because of the widespread dental industry, the demand for dental alloys has increased. As we all know, there are many kinds of dental alloy in the market. Today, we show the demand for dental alloys of various materials. The first one is nickel dental alloy, accounting for 59% of the world. The second one is cobalt dental alloy, accounting for 35% of the world. The third one is nickel graphene titanium dental alloy, accounting for 7% of the world. And the last one is ours, accounting for 3% of the world. Next, some photos for dental alloy. Next, some videos for dental alloy. You can see this video is for nickel chromium dental alloy. The size for diameter is 8 millimeter, and the length is 10 millimeter. Next video. This video is from cobalt chromium dental alloy. The diameter is 9.6 millimeter, and the length is 8 millimeter. Okay, if you have any inquiry for dental, please follow our show. Thank you. That's all for my speech now. Welcome to our next lecture. Thank you.
3:40，太多了。跟你说15分就不行了。
Okay, welcome my talk. 谁呀？
名字说谁？
是答不上。
Hello everyone, this is Alex from China. Now let me show the bows and arrows. About bows, as early as the 15th century in Europe, nail making workers began hunting nails with special trees. In 1797, all mental decisions so less in the following years. Wilkinson made and boat manufacturing machine in the United States. Both machines can produce universal nerves and boats. Until the first century, boats are widely used in construction machinery, furniture, electrical lamps and other industries. The materials of our EV boats, the boat materials produced by our company many include carbon steel, alloy steel, stainless steel, and special alloys such as 45 steel, SS 316, SS 304, SAF 2507, 403, and the 500. 400. The dimension of the diameter is set to 100 and the mass is 30 to 800 and so on. The application mainly used in mining machinery, holding power, and other industrial equipment. For mill boats, the application includes 4 mill boats are widely used in 4 mills, cement mills, coal mills, and mine mills, including SAG mills, AG mills. Material grade commonly used powder seal and tube seal and these are some pictures of our boats and mirrors. The video is about the manufacturing process of our boats and mirrors. Stainless steel bolts generally refer to steel bolts that are resistant to corrosion by air, water, acid, offline salts, or other application mainly used for environmental protection equipment, medical equipment, power, pipelines, chemical instruments, petrochemical industries, pipelines. Material grades are most commonly produced materials SS 304, SS 316, SAF 2506. And these are also some samples of our bones and nerves. This is our real certificate. If you have any inquiry about books, they send it to our email. We like to study your requirements and fulfill the best practices. Please follow our short form learning above. I will bring you a more extensive life discussing the near future.
那个太长了。讲的太快了。
Hello everyone, this is Bina from EB China. In this part, I want to talk about the EB nano powders. Okay, let's begin. This part will be divided into 4 different parts. The first one is nickel powder, the second one is aluminum powder, the third one is copper powder, the last one is cobalt powder. Okay, let's begin. The first one is nickel powder. As the first page, I want to talk about the basic information about nickel powder. Metal pigments with metallic nickel as the main component, including nickel powder and black nickel powder. Nickel powder is distilled and purified. The black nickel powder is made of high nickel powder in the presence of a suitable lubricant and a liquid medium. It is ground with a steel ball in a bone mill to form a flat of a suitable thickness. There are some basic information of nickel powder, such as the color. Nickel powder is green, irregular powder, easy to oxidize in moist air. And nickel powder can be used to prepare non-ferrous alloys, high temperature resistant, anti-oxidation materials, magnetic materials. And the nickel powder can also be used as a hydrogenation catalyst for chemical reactions. Maybe you're confused about the package of EB nickel powder. EB nickel powder will be packed with protective gas, lined plastic bags, cloth bags, and iron drums. The upper pictures show us the color of nickel powder, which is green. The lower pictures show us the package of nickel powder. The first one is cotton, the second one is plastic bags, the third one is drums.
自己帮他考虑。
Okay, there is a test report of nickel powder. So you can see there is a standard value, which the nickel is more than 99.77%. So carbon is less than 0.1%. So oxide is less than 0.2%. The sulfur is less than 0.045%. The cobalt is less than 0.01%. The fuel is less than 0.014%. Okay, the second part is aluminum powder. There is a picture of aluminum powder. You can see the color is silver white. Aluminum powder, commonly known as silver powder, that is silver metallation pigment. A small amount of lubricant is added to pure aluminum foil, crushed into scaly powder, and then polished. In this picture, I want to talk about the feature of aluminum powder. The color of aluminum powder is silver white, and the aluminum powder can be used in paints, inks, and fireworks. The package of EV aluminum powder is protected gas, lined plastic bags, cloth bags, and iron drums. So in this page, you can see there are so many pictures of aluminum powders. The upper pictures show us the color of aluminum powder. The color of aluminum powder is silver white. The lower pictures show us a package of EV aluminum powder. The first one is plastic bags. The second one is drums. There is a test report of aluminum powder. You can see in this report you can see the actual values. The aluminum is more than 99.9%. So if you place an order with us, you don't have to worry about the quality. We will show you a test report before the shipment. And the third part is cobalt powder. You can see in this page you can see the cobalt powder is divided into two different parts. The first one is pure copper powder. The second one is copper alloy powder. The difference is that the copper alloy powder contains 30% zinc. And in this page, you can see the color of copper powder and the pure copper powder is different. The pure copper powder's color is red, and the color of copper powder is yellow. Next, I want to talk about some basic information of copper powder. The production process of copper powder is divided into electrolytic method, atomization method, and reduction method. Now, the most used method is atomization. This page shows us some features of copper powder. The color of pure copper powder is red, the color of copper powder is yellow. And copper powder is widely used in powder metallurgy, diamond tools, sealing materials, electrical copper powder, heat conducting materials, welding materials, silver hard materials, friction materials, pharmaceutical and chemical industries. And if copper powder will be packed with protected gas lined plastic bags, cloth bags, and iron drums. So there are some photos of copper powder. You can see the color of pure copper powder and copper alloy powder is different. The color of pure copper powder is red. The color of copper alloy powder is yellow. Here are the test results of copper powder. The first one is pure copper powder. The copper is more than 99.9%. The fuel is less than 0.018%. The cobalt is less than 0.04%. The nickel is less than 0.005%. The Sin is less than 0.001%. The manganese is less than 0.003%. The copper is less than 0.002%. The zinc is less than 0.001%. The aluminum is less than 0.004%. The second one is the analyzed result of copper alloy powder. You can see the copper is 60.02%. The zinc is less than 39.83%. The fuel is less than 0.04%. The nickel is less than 0.005%. The Sin is less than 0.001%. The aluminum is less than 0.003%. Okay, the part 4 is cobalt powder. The raw materials for the production of cobalt powder is cobalt oxalate. In this page, I want to talk about some features of cobalt powder. The color of cobalt powder is green, and cobalt powder can be used as metallurgical products such as cemented carbide, diamond tools, high temperature alloys, magnetic materials, and chemical products such as rechargeable batteries, industrial plastic agents, drug, fuel, and medicine. And the package of EB cobalt powder is iron drums or plastic box. The upper picture shows us the color of cobalt powder, which is green. The lower picture shows us the package of EB cobalt powder. EB cobalt powder can be packed with plastic box and iron drums. There is a size comparison table of powders. In China, specializes in producing and supplying other powders. All kinds of powders. So if you have any demands for any specifications powders, you can email us. We are willing to answer your question. Okay, here are some pictures of other powders. The first one is manganese powders. The second one is titanium powders. The third one is iron powders. The first one is germanium powders. The lower first one is magnesium powders. The third one is chrome powders. The last one is zinc powders. Okay, in this part we have talked about the nickel powder, cobalt powder, alumina powder, and cobalt powders. So if you are interested in these powders or other powders shown in this page, you can email us and we will talk to you and show you more information about other powders. And so thanks for watching. You can follow us to watch or live show or email us. We are willing to answer questions. Okay, thank you.